I am using these online systems, these search engines and communication systems and web services, and I have become dependent on these systems. It's so important in my life now. And it led me to believe, what is my life now? It's as if a lot of my life has been taken over by these big tech companies. When I look at how I spend time in my day, much of it is dependent on these online services, whether it's searching or communicating or researching. It is strange how much of my life is managed, controlled now by these big tech companies. So I am, I suppose, wondering what my life is and whether the way things are now is a problem. Is it something I should be worried about? Because the world is going the way it's going, and we have become dependent on these big software giants and hardware giants, I suppose. And it does make me wonder what life is now and how I'm living now. I'm so impressed with these genius men who make it all possible. And it's just a few guys I'm talking about. There's probably a dozen or 2 dozen guys. And the absolute genius they have to create these systems that are just so awesome, so incredibly capable, and they manage our lives so brilliantly, so comprehensively, and enable us to communicate and research, and they enable us to host our lives on the internet. They've made our the management of our lives, they've made that far better, far more sophisticated. So I'm finding that I really am enjoying having control of my life, communication ability and research ability, and it's just really impressive what these guys have managed to do. Our lives are far more sophisticated now than ever before. I do have concerns about the control and influence just a few guys have over my life and the life of everybody. We have accepted the work of these guys into our lives, and we don't really understand how they do what they do. But they've made these systems work so well, they've improved our lives so much. But we partly don't care about how things work. We're just so glad that it does work. And we have a lot of trust in what we have to use, and we believe that it's being honest and correct with us. But we have no way of knowing if it's true. We just hope it's true. So the situation makes me wonder if I should be worried about how things are. But then I have to think, what's the point in being worried? The world works the way it works now. We have these systems in our lives, and we're very dependent on these things now. And these systems have enhanced our lives so much. It's hard to imagine life now without these things, these methods of communicating, information storage, research. The data management is so awesome. And it still surprises me often when I realize that it's just a few guys, a few men have made this all possible. And when I say few, I do mean a few. I'm talking less than 10 guys have made this all possible. These huge companies have been created by just a few men. And it's just amazing how the geniuses have made it all possible. Think about how life works now, and it is basically stunning compared to how it was when I was growing up. And when I was growing up, it seemed quite sophisticated, but that's 20 years ago now. I'm 38 now, so yeah, 20 years ago, whatever. So life is just so sophisticated now. And I'm thinking it will only become more sophisticated over time. I think what I'm trying to communicate here is my amazement and my concern about the way we're living now, and the way we're handling information, and the way we are under the control of various systems out there. And I don't understand how much influence these systems have in my life now. I know that they are very important in my life, and I don't know basically just how invasive they are in my life. And it's not worth being concerned, because it's gonna happen anyway, and I just have to accept it. So I'm hoping that the guys who have made this all possible are motivated in a good way. I'm confused, and I'm trying to work out what's important. These guys who have made this all possible, and it is just a handful of guys who've made this all possible. I'm wondering what their motivation is. And I don't see any way of controlling these guys. Because politicians don't understand enough to manage these guys. They're dependent on the systems that these guys have introduced, and their understanding of the systems is too limited. The tech giant men have created a reality which is out of our control, really, and we're going just on faith that the systems are working in a way that's healthy for us, because we don't know how they work, and we're taking it on trust that we're not harming ourselves by using these systems. I'm thinking it isn't worth worrying about how we're living now. Things are happening the way they're happening, and we need to adjust and just accept, really. So, what am I thinking about? I am confused, and I don't really know what to do with myself. I don't use these software platforms as much as most people do. I'm very much cut off from people at the moment. I don't interact very much.